way I can grab all of your questions. If anybody that has any questions, anything to do with personal credit, business credit, probably do a business credit overview tonight as well. That way, actually deal with business credit. Uh, Coming through loud and clear. Just real quick. Yes, so share this broadcast with anybody that you know may be interested in it. Right there. Yeah. That you know may be interested in improving their credit, business credit. They're looking to establish business credit. Listen, it's really, really simple. For business credit, it's just a matter of you're going to have the time to do it. You're going to have the time to put into it, and to make sure that you are following up with your accounts and all that type of stuff. Same thing with personal credit, what have you. But if you have anything that you want to cover, any questions or what have you, definitely let me know in the chat. Again, share this broadcast. We're going to be covering some personal credit, business credit stuff tonight. Business credit is real huge. And did you know that you can actually purchase a car in your business name without using your personal credit? You can do it without using your personal credit. You can use your EIN number, but you have to go through those steps of building your credit, building your business credit. Then once you get to that stage, then you can get auto loans or what have you as well. And so we're actually in the process of looking at some things now. We're doing a Turo play. Of course, you know, I'm in real estate. So anybody that's looking to fund any type of deals, fund any type of businesses or what have you, you may just need working capital. Building your business credit will allow you to do that. It'll allow you to do that on so many levels. And so you want to make sure that you have everything in place as far as your business credit. Let me go to this actual post here. So I see a few people that are coming in and they're actually viewing. So if you have any questions on business or personal credit, definitely let me know. I'm going to do a screen share here now. We're going to go over a little bit about business credit and the foundation of that. I always get questions about business credit and how to build it fast. And so one of the things that I want to go over is the actual foundation of business credit and starting the right way. With business credit, you have to make sure that you have everything in line, right? And so everything has to be legitimized. Everything has to match exactly to the T in order to make sure that you're getting approved for all of your accounts. So with business credit, generally the way that I teach it, the way that I take my clients through it is I build from the ground up, right? And so some people say, and it's actually true, if you want to do it fast, then you can use your personal credit. But I specialize in helping people build business credit without having to use their personal credit, right? We're going to get your personal credit in line. That's what our credit repair company does. We're going to get your credit in line. However, while we're working on that, you can still be building your business credit and not using your personal credit. So that way, you don't have to worry about, different liabilities and all that type of things. And so you want to make sure that your company is structured the right way from the very beginning. And so, how you build fast really is really determined about how or whether or not you want to use your personal credit versus just your business or the strength of your business EIN and D&B numbers alone. And so, what's going on, man? Johnny, what's good, my brother? I see you on, man. And so there's really there's three business credit bureaus, just like there's three personal credit bureaus, right? And so with your business credit bureaus, you have, of course, D&B, which is considered the granddaddy or the big one of them all. Now, I come to let you know that D&B is not as strong as it used to be. What I mean by that is, if you have Equifax and Experian, if you have those and you have good scores with those, then you can still get a lot of credit without a DMB. Some companies don't even use DMB anymore, and so you can actually use a company called nav.com, and they will allow you to actually check all of these 3 different scores in one location, right? And so people ask, well, how do I check my business credit scores and things of that nature? And you can use nav.com to do that. And so I love Nav because, again, I can keep up with my personal credit. I can also keep up with my business credit in one location. So I'm able to see all of the scores. Also with Nav, they actually have an actual trade line that reports. And so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You're using their services to make sure that you have everything in line. You're able to check your trade lines. You're able to check your scores and what have you. But then you also can use the services to actually see what your scores are, but actually have them report as a trade line to the actual credit bureaus as well. Okay. And so going back to the foundation of it all, listen, you got to make sure you choose a business name that's appropriate. Determine your location. So are you going to be home, commercial, or virtual? Now, because of the pandemic, what we used to have to deal with as far as addresses, having a virtual address versus a physical address, or even a commercial address versus a residential or home address, creditors are no longer, or vendors, I should say, are no longer holding you to that standard. Now, it does depend on what type of industry that you're in, right? So, for instance, if you are a brick and mortar, like a retail store, then you can't use, your home address and think that you're going to get a $300,000 loan. It's not going to happen, right? They need to see the retail address. And in fact, some of these are what we call on-site visits, right? And so they may send out an adjuster, they may send out an underwriter to check out your location or whatever case may be, or you may have to do it virtually. I've seen that done as well before they give you the loan and all this type of stuff, because they want to know that you have a physical in-location store, right? But that's not for every industry. Like, for instance, with our industry, which is financial services or what have you, we can use my home address if I wanted to, for all of my different businesses. And so don't believe the myth. You have those in any industry you're going to have individuals that are traditionalists, right? And so don't necessarily believe the myth that, you won't get credit or you're not building the right way because you're using your home address as your address for the business. That it's not that deep anymore. All right. And then you want to also apply for your LLC. So you want to do that. Some people say do it before the EIN. Others say do it after. It just really depends on the situation. If you're doing your name search and you know that it's already got a clean search on the name, then you can do the EIN first, right? Because what's going to happen is the IRS, they're going to ask you for the name of the actual business. So whatever you actually file with your Secretary of State, right? So whether that's a S corp, whether that's a LLC, a regular corporation, a C corporation, whatever it is, you want to make sure that that name matches with your EIN number. Okay, so whatever name you give to the company with the state, the Secretary of State, do the same thing with the IRS, because they have to match. When these vendors and these tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 companies and vendors are looking over your application, when they do a search for your business or what have you, they want to make sure that you have all of that in place as well. And then you also want to apply for your DUNS number. Okay, if you don't know what a DUNS number is, it is the it's called Dun and Bradstreet. It is really like the lifeline of a business, right? And again, like I said earlier, it's not as bad as it used to be for businesses, but it's still the granddaddy of them all in the trade business, in the industry, as it relates to business. And so every business should have a DNB number. Even if you have not started building business credit, go ahead and apply for your DNB number in Dun & Bradstreet. And so They are again like a credit bureau for business, and they have what they call a Paydex score. So your goal is to reach an 80 Paydex score. Now watch this. When you reach an 80 Paydex score, and you have, like a 400 with Equifax and Experian, or a 75 or 80 with Experian, now you are able to open yourself up to other additional credit, right? As soon as you get that Paydex score, literally you'll see approvals coming like this. I built from from nothing to over, it was close to $125,000 worth of vendor credit, business credit, in a matter of a month and a half. And this was all from after I got my 80 Paydex score, right? Now watch this. You can actually get vendor credit even before you have an 80 Paydex score. There are companies that'll still go ahead and give you vendor credit, and you can work with your tier 1 accounts and things. And I have an actual Google Doc that I can send to those that may be interested in the actual document as well. But yes, you want to make sure that you're setting everything up properly, okay? And so you want to apply for a DUNS number as well, okay? Then after that, you got to get a business telephone number, right? And so some people use Google Voice. I would suggest against it. I would use you can use Grasshopper, Call 8, and that's call with a K, K-A-L-L-E. I'm sorry, K-A-L-L 8, the number 8.com. I use Call 8. There's another one called Vumber, which is number but with a V. They actually, you can have calls with them as well. And so there's a lot of different calling. Grasshopper is a great one I used to use, and I haven't used them in a few years now. I used to use them for a couple of previous businesses that I was running, and they were great. But Call 8 has been great as well. You can do voicemails. You can do as many numbers as you have, as many departments that you want to put in those. And so you want to get a number that's going to be sufficient, okay? You want to make sure that you have a number that's separate from your cell phone or anything like that. Again, it's about legitimizing your business. It's about looking like you are doing business. These companies are expecting you to do what you say you're going to do. And so you don't want to look like some Joe Blow that just decided to do a hobby and all that. No, you want to look organized so that way you can get the funding for your business, okay? Then you want to register your business with 411. So you can go to listyourself.net to do that as well. And that'll allow you to list in all of the directories, right? And so there's several hundred directories that show all of the different information and things and data for these particular companies, right? So whatever companies they submit their information. And so a lot of these companies that are doing the funding, they'll actually go and research and see, okay, is this business really legit? Because they believe that if you're legit, you're doing the things necessary to do business. And so you have social media presence, you have a website, you have a phone number, you have an address, right? But you also have a presence in the 411. They want to know, okay, if somebody's searching for you, if you are a legit business, then you should be able to go and find them in 411, okay? Of course, create a business website, create a business email. Do not use Gmail, all right? Don't use Gmail, don't use Yahoo, don't use Microsoft, I think it's Microsoft.net or whatever it is. I can't remember right offhand. Don't use any of those third-party actual email accounts. Now, if you're using Google Business, that's something different. So, Gmail has a product designed for businesses, but you still have to use your domain, right? Even with that, for the Gmail organizations or what have you, Google organizations, and Google Business accounts. But you still want to make sure that you're doing that, okay? So professional email, so your name at yourcompany.com. You want to make sure you have that in place. All right. Then you want to find your NAICS and SIC codes. What this is the North American Industry Classification Code and Systems. What this allows you to do, or what the government has done, is they segmented and separated and classified all different types of businesses. And so you need to find the code that's closely related to, or as closely related to, what you do in your business. This is going to be vitally important to your business credit. The reason for that is because these companies, depending on what the actual classification is, they can determine whether or not you're high risk or not. For instance, I could take, for example, us with credit repair, we're considered a high risk company. And so, yes, even in those just transparent moments, even in the moments that I've applied for certain things, we got turned down for that reason, right? So what we had to do was wait 30 days, reapply, or, you know, if we did, however many times we got turned down, we had to reapply. And then they finally, you know, accepted us because we built the history of the credit with the other companies or what have you. And so that's a perfect instance. That's considered to be high risk or what have you in the banking industry and all this type stuff. And so you have to make sure you have the right codes so that way you're able to check that. Then you want to open up a business account, business checking account. Okay. I've listed some great banks to use. Navy Federal is great for business. Penn Federal, Bank of America, Chase, but your local credit union, that's one of the most important ones. Your local credit union is going to give you a lot of flexibility as it relates to funding, right? When you build the relationship with them and build the relationship with your local banker, now you have a personal connection. And so as you are growing your accounts and things of this nature, they're going to be more apt to give you funding products. They're going to be more apt to lend you money or what have you as well. So make sure you have your freeze your personal credit. And so this was something that I didn't actually do. Some people do because based on the companies, some companies will pull that. But what I always made sure was that on the application, I made sure that I did not check that I was going to be a guarantor, right? Because, you know, once you've increased your credit and all that, I mean, one pull on your credit is gonna, it'll drop it. And so I made sure that they did not have me selected as a guarantor. Now, let me say this. On a lot of these actual applications, you do have to list your social security number, right? So you have to list your social, but that's because of the federal government laws now. They're requiring is it the Patriot Act? I can't remember what it is. They're requiring that these companies get your information so that way they can check it, basically so they can track you. You know how it is. After 9/11, everything changed. And so you're required to put that on there, but they won't check your credit for that. They just have that listed just to verify who you are. Okay, so that's just really there for verification. Okay. So you want to freeze your personal credit? That's up to you. Again, I haven't done it, and again, I have close to $150,000 worth of vendor credit that I'm able to utilize with my business, and so you know, it hasn't hurt me or what have you. And of course, you want to make your social media accounts. You want to add your business to Yelp. Yes, add your business to Yelp. People don't understand that people use Google and Yelp the most when they are actually trying to find out information about you. When you go to a restaurant, you want recommendations. Guess where they go? They go to Yelp. And so you want to make sure you list your business with Yelp as well. All right. Establish a presence on Google. So Google My Business. And they have eliminated Google My Business, or they have started the process of deleting all of the Google My Businesses. But they still have it where you can go and you can claim your business, or you can list your business with Google. And that way they will be able to track your address and all that stuff. And so when people go in there and they type in, or they type in the search engine looking for you or looking for particular services that you offer, now Google can say, okay, well, this individual has these types of services, and so let me match these individuals. It goes even further with the what we call search engine optimization, SEO. You may have heard of that or what have you, but that's a whole nother topic or what have you. All right, add your business to Bing. Bing is a what I call a lost search engine that many people forgot about, but they are still effective, because what you want to do is when it comes to business, you want to show up everywhere, right? You want to show up everywhere, so individuals can see you. They know you're there, and so especially when it's free. And so you want to make sure that you have Bing, you're listed in Bing, and that way they can actually do the same thing that Google does as far as listing you. So they know what your services are, they know what your company provides. Okay. And again, it is very important that all of your info is the exact same across all platforms, even with your social media handles. I know sometimes that's not possible. Matter of fact, I was registering my new business, the Wealthy Place Properties LLC. I was registering that, and so I had to change some things, as far as the handles, because I wanted them to be the exact same across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And so sometimes that it won't happen like that. Like for instance, our church account, we had to kind of change because somebody else had something that was close to what we already had with the other two accounts. And so we had to kind of change our third account and stuff. And so, but you want the exact same information listed. So address, everything, wherever you're placing it at, make sure it's the same. Okay. Can't stress that enough. Make sure it's the same. You'll save yourself a lot of heartaches and a lot of frustration as it relates to that. All right. And so here's the steps to the credit, right? First is tier 1 account. So that's your net 30, your net 7, your net 14. You want to have between 5 to 10 trade lines reporting. When I say reporting, I mean reporting to DNB, Equifax, and Experian. Okay. You want to have 5 to 10 accounts, or trade lines. We call them trade lines too. You want to have those reporting on your behalf. All right. Here are some of the accounts you can have. So Quio.com, Uline.com, Granger.com. Those are like the first three. Those are like the holy grail of tier 1 accounts, right? That everybody has as it relates to accounts. Okay. Quio.com, Uline.com, and Granger.com. And so then you have like Ecredible, you have NAB, Business Boost. Again, that's a monthly subscription. You are able to use it to check your personal and your business credit, and they report as a trade line. You have SupplyWorks Home Depot Pro. I love my Home Depot card. This is like, that and Lowe's. These are great cards for any man to have, right? And so I love my Home Depot card because I can go and get anything I need, whether it's for my grill and all this, and I can use it for business purposes and all that type of stuff. So I love my Home Depot card. All right. Crown Office Supplies, Wex Fleet Universal card. So this is a fuel card. Everybody should have fuel cards, at least 2 to 3 fuel cards that you can utilize. I have Wex, I have A to B, I have Arco, I have Circle K. I've had all of these cards. The next one I'm probably going to get is the BP MasterCard, right? And so with BP MasterCard, you're able to use that as a regular card, but you can use it for your gas, but you can also use it anywhere MasterCard is accepted. You're able to do that and make payments on it, what have you. All right. Strategic Network Solutions. So those are the first tier, and then you have tier 2 accounts. So these are like store charge cards and things of that nature. You want about 5 to 10 of these. Now that doesn't mean that you have to start out with these like right away. Again, this is a stair-step process where you're building on top of one another. Okay, and so you want to make sure that you're doing it properly, right? And so some of those are Sam's Club store card. This is real huge for like daycares and caterers and all of those types of individuals that have to go shop at Sam's all the time. Even what I call e-commerce flippers, right? Or wholesalers. So they'll go and they'll buy a lot of the products, especially when Sam's has some great deals. Arbitrage, people doing e-commerce arbitrage or whatever. They'll go to Sam's Club, buy these things, and then list them on eBay or Amazon for a bigger price and make a ton of money doing that, right? Because they have the Sam's Club card. And so they have the ability to go in there. You got Lowe's, you got Amazon, the net 55 pay. Now, this actual revolving credit line is getting ready to be dissolved in January, I believe, in 2023. they're going to discontinue the Amazon Net 55 account, which was the revolving credit line account. However, Amazon does have what we call PBI, pay by invoice. And so that's a Net 30 account where you can go in Amazon. A lot of people don't know this. If you have a business account, usually when you open up your business account, they're going to send you an invitation to join PBI, the pay by invoice. And so that's their Net 30 program. And so literally you can go and order what you need off of Amazon and you don't have to pay that invoice until 30 days later, right? Great way to really kick off business and all that without having to put all the money up front. You know, you can have your cash, you can reserve your cash flow and use your credit with Amazon to build business. I know individuals that actually went on Amazon, they PBI account, and they purchased vending machines, right? They purchased a vending machine, I think it was for $2,500 off of Amazon. And within the 30 days, they had already made that plus a lot more. I think they wound up grossing about $7,000 on their actual vending machine, right? And so then they paid that $2,500 off, and the only thing they had to pay from that point on was just the purchase of the actual materials. So whether it was chips, whether it was candy, or whatever the case may be. And so it's a real huge way to really keep your cash flow. You don't have to worry about being strapped and all that. That's what's the great thing about business credit. Okay, the Best Buy Business Advantage account, Floor & Decor, Credit Strong Business Builder, Home Depot Commercial, AT&T Wireless, Verizon Wireless, Advanced Auto Parts. So even you may be paying $200 in a wireless bill right now. Well, why don't you just switch that over to your business and use that as a credit, right? Use this as a tax credit and a write-off. I got approved for, I think with Verizon, I got approved for like 25 lines, I believe it was. T-Mobile, I got approved for like 30 lines. Of course, I'm not gonna use all those lines and all that, but I was approved for those. And so you want to, you want to take advantage of that as a business. Then Advanced Auto Parts. So if you're a mechanic, if you have an actual car shop, or a detail shop, or whatever the case may be, you can use Advanced Auto and also AutoZone. Both of them have Net 30 accounts for vendors, okay, for business credit rather. And then you have your tier 3 accounts. These are your revolving lines. These are your loans, your corporate cards. These are this is like when you've gotten to like the threshold of getting some major funding, right? And so you have like Capital on Tap. You have Get Clean Card. You had Get Divvy. Brex has eliminated their program now, their business program. But you have Torpago, and then also the Sam's Club MasterCard. And see, these are just a few. I have a lot more on my actual sheet, what have you, that I send out to everybody. And then you have the credit cards. So you got Chase Bank, you got Bank of America, you got PNC Bank, US Bank, Amex. And Amex is considered to be like the holy grail of credit, what have you. Wells Fargo, Truist Bank, which was formerly BB&T and SunTrust. And then, of course, you have NFCU, Navy Federal. Navy Federal is a great, great, great bank to be with. So anytime you can get with a great credit union, it's going to be to your advantage, to be honest with you. Anytime you can get with a great credit union, because and sometimes the smaller, the better. Because they value the relationship, the banking relationship with businesses, even more than some of the big box brands like a Bank of America or like a Chase and some of the others or what have you. All right. And then lastly, here it is, Q&A. So if you have any questions, put those in the chat. I'd love to answer those for you. If not, then I'm going to log off in a few minutes and go and kind of spend the rest of my night with the wife and looking at some TV, just relaxing. I had a long day today. But yeah, I'm telling you, this is a great way to really build your credit, your business credit. I just got a new client that just came on, and we're actually doing this for them. We're actually taking them through this entire process, and they didn't want to have to do it themselves and all that. I tell people, even in our credit repair company, I'm not doing anything you can't do. I just know a lot more than what you know as far as the laws and things are concerned, and the hacks and things are concerned. And I also understand that it takes time and it takes attention to detail. Most people not doing that. So even when they start, and transparency, when I learned how to repair my credit years and years and years ago, when I started, I would miss dates, and so I would miss dates, and I have to start the process over. And then finally, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me put a system together that will allow me to stay on track, and that's what I did. And so, but I understand that most people are not going to do that. You're not gonna say, you're not gonna remember to go and pull a credit report on day 31 to show that a creditor did not do what they were supposed to do according to the FCRA. And so it's like, okay, those types of things are what we get paid to do, right? We get paid to do all of the little details and things of that nature, and have our FCRA attorney that's on staff. And so anytime we need to send a company a lawsuit, a letter of intent or whatever the case may be, we can do that. All right. You don't have access to those things normally when you're trying to repair your own credit, or even know things like, for every violation, you can get up to $1,000 for every violation that they actually infraction that they have. Most people don't know that. And so they don't know how, and the credit bureaus and the creditors, the furnishers, what we call them, they pride themselves on knowing that you don't know the information, right? And that's why they try to intimidate you and do these types of things. Even as far as some of the things I'm researching now, is that people don't know that even in the laws, the way that they were written, even in as it relates to our social security numbers, even we can use those as credit and say these individual things have already been paid. It's crazy what we don't know until we know, right? And so I'm researching a lot of that stuff, and getting the 411 on a lot of it before I bring it to my audience and my tribe, because I want to make sure it's legit. I want to make sure that what's the proper way to go about it before I actually give it to you guys. Let's see. What's going on, George? We're sorry I missed most of the presentation. Give me some info on the Duns. How do I get one? Okay, so with Duns, all you have to do is go to dunandbradstreet.com, and there you'll click on a button. Matter of fact, I can take you there right now, and I'll show you. Let me just do this right quick. I'll show you real quick what that process is like, or what you have to do. Because sometimes you may have, if you already have a business, if you had a business out there for a while, many times you have information that's already out there. And so Duns has your information, and you just have to go out there and actually claim it. Okay. All right. Okay. And I'm going to do this. I'm just setting up this scene in the back. Let me do this, and then I will show you guys. All right, let me set up this screen share right quick. Entire screen. Now let's go to Safari. All right. All right, I wasn't expecting to use this one tonight, but that's all right. I'm gonna it's not set up perfectly, but anyway, so I'm going to publish this. All right, and so you'll see here, if you come here to Dun & Bradstreet, and it's dnb.com. So D, the letter N, and B.com. And so if you scroll over small business, all you have to do is come over here. It says get a DUNS number. You would just click on that, and you can actually apply for the number. And you can do the same here, right here as well, and just come on DUNS number, look up, or get a DUNS number. You just click that, and then it'll ask you all these questions. So I have a U.S. based business. It's going to ask you what zip code you're in. Then it's going to ask you for the business name, because what it's going to do initially is going to search for it, right? And so I'm just put in Freeman Multimedia, and boom, you see now it'll show up or what have you. And so it'll do the same thing for any business that you have, that you already have in there. It's going to actually go through the registries and see, okay, do you have a business already with them or not? If you don't, then it'll take you through the process of creating your actual account. Once you fill out the information, you submit the actual information to them, then they're going to review it. And then they're going to send you some information. Now, with mine, it took probably 48 hours, I think it was. I was actually shocked by how fast it happened, because usually with D&B, we hear horror stories sometimes 30, sometimes 45, sometimes 60 days before anybody hears anything about, them getting their actual DUNS number. And so for my previous business, Freeman Financial Group, we applied actually during the pandemic, right? During the middle of the pandemic. And so I was actually shocked that it came within 2 days. And in fact, I think it came within 24 hours. And then the final paperwork, I think, came within 2 days or something like that. But I got the number, like, I think within 24 hours, because I remember being able to set up everything I needed to set up. And even on that day, I think I opened up like 4 or 5 different accounts as soon as I got my D&B established and everything. And so, yeah, so that's pretty easy. You just go there and, handle it from that perspective or what have you. Let me see if I can go back to my other scene. All right, there we go. Let me publish this. All right. And so let me see whatever other questions I have. Yes, Allison Hill. I absolutely can send you the recording. What I'll do is I'll upload it, and I'll send that to you. And I basically just did the business overview of kind of like what you need to do, like the foundational things on what you need to do in order to get it established, get your business established, get your credit profile established, and make sure that you do it the proper way. Do it right from the beginning, because it can cause you headaches down the road or what have you. All right, if that's all the questions for tonight, what I'll do is I'll make sure that I post this recording, and I'll actually give it to, I'll send it to you, Allison. And the actual recording actually will probably remain on my actual timeline, but you can go to YouTube and join my YouTube channel, The Credit Watcher. You can join that channel there. You can also join my Facebook group, The Credit Watchers Facebook group. You'll see that as well there. So what are a few good accounts to open to get started, to get business credit established? So the 3 main ones that you want to start with are Quill.com, Uline.com, and Granger.com. Now, one of the things that I do and I try to focus on is getting accounts that I know I'm going to use, right? So with Quill, they have everything. From toilet paper, gift cards, you name it, they have everything. And so that is an easy one to get. Uline, they're more about packaging and things. They do have some of the other products. Like I just ordered from Uline paper towels and some toilet tissue and some cleaning supplies and stuff of that nature. Granger is the same way, but Granger is more of a machinery type of vendor, but they have a lot of the other stuff as well. So they have toilet paper, they have paper towels, they have household products and things of that name. And so you want to kind of open those up. And then there's other accounts as well. And I'll send you, what I'll do is, matter of fact, I'm going to post this link right now. And so you go to this link and I have the whole process laid out. I have a lot of the accounts that you can actually go to start your business credit, all of that. And so I'm going to share this with you right now. Let's go here. All right, I'm going to post this link right now. Okay, so it's going to be posted to YouTube, and then I'm going to post it as well in Facebook. All right, let's see another question. Can a DUNS number be beneficial for a church? Yes. One of the things that I'm doing is building credit for our church as well. A lot of churches don't do that, and I'm shocked that they don't. But yes, you can do that as well for the church as long as you're listed as a corporation, so LLC, Inc., S corp, C corp. You can do that. You'll list with your DUNS number, and then you can build credit for the actual church organization as well. All right, that doc there, that is a how to build business credit fast document that we have there, and it goes through the different tiers. It goes through the process, goes through the different tiers that you can actually get from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Guess what? They got Grubhub for Business. You got Tiffany and Company. You have so many other, Tractor Supply. So if you are a grill master like I am, you can get all of your pellets for your smoker and wood for your smoker, all that stuff you can get. Sherwin-Williams paint. There's so many different companies. I'll put it to you this way. If you are doing business in any type of industry, I'm sure there's some vendors that actually will extend you credit. And so whatever capacity you may be operating in, what you can do is reach out to those companies or go to their website and go to the bottom and see if they have like a net 30 account for vendors, that type of thing. But a lot of times we just don't think about it. And so we don't inquire about it. But many of these businesses, 9 times out of 10, have a net 30 program. And then if you don't see it on the site, sometimes they won't list it on the site. So you can just hit them up on chat, and then they'll find it that way as well. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, I hope that answered your question, George. So like on your tier 1s, you definitely want to you definitely want to have like Uline, you want to have Granger, you want to have Quill.com. You also want to do like Supply Works, Home Depot Pro. You can do Sunbelt Rentals. Sunbelt, they're a rental company for like big box machine rentals or like landscaping, like construction. That's where you get the Bobcats and all that type stuff. And so I haven't, even though I'm approved, I was approved for, I want to say 25,000 with them. I haven't really found a need for it yet to even have it reporting. So that's the thing about it. Some of these accounts, it's good to get approved for them, but you still got to use them, right? You got to use them in order to have the trade line report or what have you as well. Man, I appreciate you, man. And definitely, yeah, join the Facebook group, man. I'm going to be doing a lot more in the Facebook group. And so, join the group, and we're going to be going over not only business credit, but personal credit and how they can work hand in hand to build your business or what have you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. Reach out to me. Any other things I can help you with as far as rebuilding, man, definitely, I would love to help you out with that. And we do this, and like the young lady told me the other day, she was like, "Wow, the stuff that you're doing." We heard some crazy numbers from companies that were quoting us. So like for what you're doing, you're really helping. And I told her that's what I'm about. I want to make a living at this. I said, but I'm about just helping, man, and helping. I want to see people businesses succeed. And so I'm really serious about that, reaching out, and even, our programs that we have where our DFY, done for you programs and products and stuff, they're still a very, very competitive and affordable for the small business owner. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it, because I know that my niche is really helping startups and those that maybe just getting into business or been in business for 3 to 5 years or a little bit longer, but haven't really had the funding and all this type stuff to really move with. Because to be honest with you, the number one killer of any business is really funding. That's where most businesses that go belly up is because they don't have the funding, they don't have the resources to continue to do business. And so, I want to help in that regard or what have you as well. Yes, Ahmad, yes, I do one-on-ones as well. Um, Usually that's where you definitely get a lot more nuggets. I drill down and put a plan in place. So whether that's with your personal credit or your business credit, or we do both, together. Um, and we just put a plan of action in place that's customly designed for your business and your funding goals. Like for instance, one of the clients that we just brought on, he's looking to get huge funding, like 300,000 to 500,000 to fund different deals and stuff that he's doing and stuff. So we know, okay, we got to look at some of the private money lenders and that type of thing. And we have people we already matched him. We already know that are matched for his types of businesses or what have you. And so, yeah, definitely, reach out to me. We could definitely do a one-on-one, schedule a consultation and all that as well. All right, one more question. I would like to buy a work van. How does that work with business credit? So, if you build your business credit, I was talking about that earlier on the broadcast. If you build your business credit, you generally can purchase a van without your personal credit at all. In fact, most of the individuals that use, I'm actually looking at that now because I want to put a fleet of cars on Turo, and so one of the things that you can do is once you get approved for it, it's a wrap, man. And you can walk off the lot, no docs, just your income, stated income. They don't ask for returns sometimes. They just really check your EIN and DNB numbers. And if those are legit, they'll approve you, man. And so usually what we see is if you've been in business for anywhere where usually within, they say a year, but I've seen it where literally people have started new business. They built that they were building the business credit with the tiers, and within 6 months they were getting cars pre-approved, approved, no deposit down, no money down. Now the only difference is, of course, with commercial loans or what have you. And when you get a commercial car, you have, the actual insurance is a little bit higher, and also the interest rates are a little bit higher, right? Because they're taking a bigger risk, right? They're taking a bigger risk by saying, okay, we're not going to even check, personal credit, anything like that nature. We're going off for the strength of your business, and so it's a little bit more. For instance, depending, and it also depends on how long you've been in business, that type of thing, and all that as well. But I mean, for general, like for instance, just take a Mercedes Benz Jeep, right? That payment normally would be around let's just say $500, right? With business credit, it's generally going to be close to 625, right? And that's just the difference of interest rates based on business versus you doing it personally or what have you. But you'll find that benefit is you can write that off. You can write a certain percentage of that actual purchase off, right? And so I think it's within the first year of you getting that, you can write that off. And so that's the benefit versus doing personal. You paying that extra, but yeah, you can write it off on your taxes and stuff. And so that's something to think about as well. Okay. What I'll do, Ahmad, I'll reach out to you tonight when we get off. I'll reach out to you and let's set up a meeting tomorrow. I can give you a call and we can talk it through, man. Definitely, and I'll help you out with both your personal and the business, and getting you to where you want to be. So, George, I hope that answered your question. Yes, definitely. With your business credit, you do not need personal credit to create a great business credit profile. Your personal credit can get you there faster, right? But it's not necessary. It's not needed if you just have the patience to build your credit. Again, anything that I needed vendor wise, I had within 3 months of me starting to build my credit for my business number one. Right. I wish I would have done this years ago for my business that I started back in 2004, but I didn't know about this. This is a lot of stuff that people really don't know a lot of stuff about. And so that's why I want to kind of help expose a lot of people to what business credit can really do for you in your business or what have you. Not sure of what question. This about debt collectors. How do you stop them from reopening old debt? It's been over 7 years, but they close it and then reopen it in 2 months. What can I do? So if they had an infraction, right, and you remove those items were removed because they didn't do what they were supposed to do according to the FCRA, then you can actually sue them, right? And usually once they get that litigation letter, and they are served those papers that you're going to sue them, for each infraction, it's $1,000, right? And so say, for instance, they've done that 3 times or 4 times, then you can actually sue them for $4,000, right? But generally, once they get that, they'll wipe it off. They can't, it's illegal to reinsert. What happens, usually when that happens is they've sold the debt to another company. Here's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. The debt is between you and the original creditor, right? That is the original creditor. If they have not purchased the contract with the original wet signature, then you don't owe them that debt. The debt was in between you and the third party. The debt was between you and the original contractor. So technically, by law, they're not allowed to report that debt as well. But see, this is what they prey on. They know that you're not going to know that information, and so they'll re-add it, or they will say that you owe them. And they purchase these debts for pennies on the dollar, right? And so literally, you are in a situation where they just trying to get what they paid for, basically. I mean, literally, you have a $500 debt, and they paid maybe $100 for it. You know what I mean? If that, because the company that you originally had, they're gonna write it off anyway. You know, and so even though they come after you hard, they already know, okay, we're gonna write this off as a bad debt, right? And so technically, it doesn't even hurt them in that regard. They're gonna get the tax break on it anyway. But the third party, you're not technically held liable to pay them that amount, right? Because they pay a certain amount. And that's why a lot of them, if you notice, they'll negotiate with you in a heartbeat. You know, they'll negotiate that thing down, and you before you know it, some of them you could just come out of it with pennies. But I would definitely look at, and Chris, hit me up, because what I can do is I can send you a letter that you can actually send to them. If you get my ebook, I've still got it set at $17. If you get my ebook, personal credit ebook, I have letters in there with my letter bundle that has letters that you can actually send to these creditors as well. But reach out to me, man. I'll definitely help you out and get you straight. Yeah, absolutely, answer my question. I'll be reaching out to you. Okay, sounds good, man. Sounds good. Definitely, let's make it happen. Hey, Chris, yeah, if you want me to help you with that, and you want to, if you have some other stuff that you want to get squared away, yeah, reach out to me, man. You can inbox me, or you can send me an email at j@bluebirdcreditrepair.com. That's j@bluebirdcreditrepair.com, and we'll get you straight. We'll get you taken care of. Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, well, I'm going to get off of here. I smell something cooking, or has been cooked downstairs, and I haven't eaten all night. I was on a training from 7 to about 8:45, and then I jumped right on here. And so I'm geared to go and get me a little bit to eat and relax and enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you guys really enjoyed the Q&A and some of the stuff that we were talking about. And yes, reach out to me. I'll help you any way I can, and we'll get you to where you need to be. All right. Talk with you guys later. Bye-bye.